Well, viewers, those are the headlines, and our top focus. Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani has met with US President Donald Trump in New York. This comes 2 days after an Israeli airstrike in Doha killed several Hamas officials and a Qatari security officer as well. The attack, which targeted a Hamas political meeting, has been widely condemned and now threatens derailment of US-backed efforts to secure a ceasefire in Gaza. The Qatari Prime Minister has held a private dinner with President Trump, accompanied by US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, as per reports. Now, the high-level engagement came after an hour-long meeting at the White House earlier in the day, where Sheikh Mohammed met with Vice President J.D. Vance and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The talks focused on US-Qatar defense ties in particular, as well as Qatar's mediation role in the Israel-Hamas conflict and the fallout from Israel's strike on Qatari soil. Now, President Trump has expressed clear frustration over the Israeli operation, which he called unilateral action that jeopardizes both US and Israeli interests. Listen in to what acting US Ambassador to the United Nations, Dorothy Shea, has said.
Minister Netanyahu reiterated to President Trump his desire for peace when the two spoke yesterday. Notwithstanding the unfortunate nature of this incident, President Trump believes it could serve as an opportunity for peace. The President assured the Emir, as well as the Prime Minister of Qatar, that such a thing would not happen again on their soil.
Qatar is a key US ally in the Gulf and host to the Al Udeid Air Base. It has been leading efforts to broker a ceasefire in Gaza, as well as secure the release of Israeli hostages and help develop a post-war roadmap for the territory. Now, despite the deadly strike, Doha has vowed to continue its mediation efforts. In fact, on Thursday, in a rare move, the United States joined other members of the United Nations Security Council in condemning Israel's strike on Qatar. With us on the broadcast is Dr. Wael Awad. He is a Middle East affairs expert. Thank you so much for taking our time speaking to us on NewsX World. Interesting development coming in. Donald Trump has met Qatari's Prime Minister Sheikh Al Thani. He also met with US Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Initially, we saw that Israel had notified the Trump administration, but Trump has come out and stated that it was a unilateral decision. That's not all. In a very rare move, the United States of America also condemned Israel's strikes against Qatar. Qatar has now stated that despite everything, it is still continuing with the mediation effort. It's pointed to the fact that it does not have any diplomatic ties with Israel, but despite that, it is continuing with the mediation effort to ensure that peace prevails. Where do you think the Qatar-US equation is going to head next? Because we saw them trying to court Trump personally as well, offering the jumbo 787 Boeing 400 million jet to Trump as well.
I think this is an unprecedented attack on a sovereign nation, where the United States, hosting the largest military bases after Japan and Guam, is in Al Udeid in Qatar, where more than 12,000 American Marines are stationed. And in fact, the irony of the matter that Qatar pays around $10 billion for this military bases for the United States. For what? To protect Qatar from any external attack. And here you see an ally of the United States has been attacked by the US partners. So to deny that US president was not involved, was not informed, this is absolutely rubbish, and I don't take this word at all. It is well informed. He knew about the attack. The American intelligence knew. They already jammed the systems of intercepting these planes or the rockets, and the Americans have the most sophisticated weapon on that. You remember when Iran attacked Qatar, immediately the American activated all their systems, and there only 1 or 2 rockets could be attack the American military base there. So therefore, there is a denial, but there is also a sabotage has been committed against an Arab countries, and there is also a stab at the back for the American if he is seriously not known, which I don't buy this story. The fact of the matter remains that most of the Qatar and the GCC countries are considered to be the custodian of the United States. So any collective defense measures are taken by these two countries to protect it from any sort of an attack from an external forces. So what is the American doing? America did not condemn the attack. America felt sorry about the attack, but they have never condemned. However, let us remember also that the Americans are the one who asked the Qataris to host Hamas leaders inside Doha with the approval of the Israelis in 2011. So therefore, they opened for them an office, and they have been in touch with the American, with the Israelis intelligence, who have traveled to Doha to discuss the release of the hostages. And during those negotiations, they were able to reach to an agreement, and they have released 2/3 of the hostages, and still there are remaining. So to go on attack, it's just a clear indication that Netanyahu has given up on the prisoners and with Hamas, and also he has already declared them dead. So therefore, he wanted to finish Hamas inside and outside.
Speaking of Netanyahu, it's interesting that the United Nations General Assembly resolution declaring steps towards a two-state solution between Israel and Palestine has now been endorsed by 142 countries. There were 142 votes in favor, 10 against, and 12 countries that have abstained from voting. An overwhelming majority of the world supports the two-state solution, yet Netanyahu is not backing down from the offensive in Gaza City. With international and domestic pressure now mounting, do you still think there is a chance for him to tone down and retreat, or is that not going to happen?
I think the enhancing steps by Netanyahu government to demolish Gaza Strip and to annihilate the West Bank, where he is already, the settlers are attacking the Palestinians living there, where Hamas has nothing to do with it, and increasing the settlement and encroachment in the territories, and now going to declare it under the Israelis, a custodian, and it's an Israeli territory, no more a Palestinian. It's a clear indication that Netanyahu is not a man of peace, actually. Even in 1992, when we went to Madrid conference and there was a discussion among the Israelis and the Arab partners. In fact, we reached to the agreement between Israel and the Palestinian Authority, where he has torn that Warsaw Agreement and throw it in the dustbin, and he said there will be no two-state solution, there will be no Palestinian state. 1995, even he has mentioned it in his own book. So therefore, to speak that he is a man of peace, I don't buy this story from him, because he does not believe in any peace with the Palestinian. He believes that the Palestinian has to be either killed or expelled out of the country, and that's what they are doing. He and his right-wing government, including the finance minister and the intelligence, where Smotrich and Ben Gvir are doing the same thing for the Palestinian to make sure there is no two-state solution. The whole of the United Nations, actually, when the first year of its establishment, it was a resolution, 1948, which has given 55% of the majority of Palestine to the minority Jew and 45% to the Palestinian. So they declared that the two-state solution that time, 1948. And over the years, Israel made sure, repeated government of Israel, that there will be no state solution, no two-state solution. It's only one, is called Israel.
All right, Dr. Awad, with that, I would like to thank you for taking our time speaking to us on